it over to our casters right now. Gentlemen, take it away.
Thank you, Coddle Guy. We're here with LGD versus OG, game number 1 here, and the first thing I want to talk about, Blitz, is going to be the pickup. Playing the 4th position Doom, match up against, as we said, Enchantress. Being able to jungle and then potentially come in and just devour the creep, it sounds like an interesting way to be able to try and negate the Enchantress's typical advantage, because even try and aggressively ward and block out the camps, still can't keep Enchantress entirely down. Right? Sorry, everybody. Blitz's mic is on now. Anyway, Blitz, go on about the Doom.
Oh, like,
you were talking about so eloquently for a while.
We did this thing. It was like this alpha wall, and I didn't really do anything about it because Doom running at you with Earth level 1 feels like survive, but you just...
Alright, it looks like teams are back and ready to go. Grit has already started off with an early CS, taking out the Hawk, and is going to be getting this ward up, not blocking out the camp, but is going to be getting vision of this aggro dual lane of the Enchantress and Beastmaster. We have another pause, so plenty of time to talk about how the lanes pan out. The next one's going to be mid. Baby, playing the Tiny up against a Razor.
That is a brutal matchup for Tiny.
Oh yeah, I mean that's going to be a terrible matchup. This is a hero this is like one of the few heroes I actually have that's going to be potentially okay at shutting down the Slark, right? If you can get a fast Blink Dagger on Tiny, he can go around potentially hunting the Slark, because most of their lineup is not good with dealing with him. That's why OG were able to pick up this carry that's rather out of favor.
A lot of things that are a little bit weird, especially in conjunction with each other. By the way, I like the fact that the Doom placed that ward there. If you place the ward to block the camp, every single time you do that, it's going to get dewarded. That ends up happening. So the better thing to do is, A, you either chance a tree, sit down there, because it's much, even if it gets dewarded, okay, it's like a gamble. If you don't find it, then you're in a good position. But if it does get, if you put an obs there and it gets dewarded, terrible position.
Right.
But at least this way they can see where the Enchantress goes. Direction is more important. If they see her go to the right, then maybe they know that a smoke opportunity is going off or something like that. If they see her go to the left, they know she's going offline off.
And then to add on to that, the fact that they have a Doom, they can actually counter the fact that Enchantress has a creep. No other support can really deal with that. Once the creep is gained, the advantage is taken and Enchantress is able to bully the enemy lane. But as we're talking about, Doom can actually come in and have a big effect. That being said, it's all kind of moot. We're started off with an early counterboard from LGD that takes away that, and a free 100 experience on DDC to get that fast level 2.
And right now they're running into the river.
There's no way they can fight OG, it seems.
Oh, they're going to get double bounty?
Yeah, that's going to be a strong start for OG. So, congrats, you got the extra 100 experience on DDC. You're going to need it because the other 200 experience from the bounty runes up by OG.
It's like he got a bounty rune. The same thing.
Yeah, just with no gold and not... So our Tiny's at an even worse advantage than he was before.
It's fine. The annoying thing about the Razor is kind of like a pillow. It just kind of like smothers you. It doesn't hurt very hard. It doesn't bother you. It's just kind of a nuisance.
I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and say that it's a pillow stuffed with a couple of razor blades, because he is he's a physical damage hero against a hero that has no armor. You know, like some other heroes, it'd be a little bit more like a pillow, but this hero that takes the full brunt of every right click from this Razor.
Nah, dude, and he's got armor. He's made of rock.
He's made of rock.
How could he have 0 armor?
You're right. He could go craggy exterior level 2. We'll see if that can help. Well, the Enchantress is certainly going to help DDC push out of that top lane via just, I guess, the Doom pickup is going to be spending a lot more time harassing mid. spending perhaps more of a traditional role in that 4 position. Moon, meanwhile, at the bottom lane is actually trying to challenge MMY, see if he can get that quick first blood, but the physical damage is just not enough. Moon may be able to walk away from this one alive. Pop healing himself, gets a bit of heal, and try and dip into the trees, and
he's got
he is
this.
successful too. Just gets right through the line, diagonal through the trees. Weaver can't pursue, gets a TP out. That was a beautiful play by Moon.
That's huge too. He burns through one full support, and more than that, he gets through some of the regen of the Weaver, and it doesn't even cost him his life. He gets a free level 3 at the same time. This should have been a critical matchup. Like, the Weaver is one of the better heroes just because no kill potential. He's been the Batrider and always just run away and run through and harass with the Geminate attack, but for Moon to get a kill there and survive.
Nice talk back into the Hellbear Smasher, slowing down No-Tail. What a combination from LGD. But is it going to be enough to kill No-Tail? Doesn't look like it. He's going to be able to live with an extra 40 HP, but still, that gives maybe at least a bit of time in this lane and free farm, as it was going to be one of the more difficult ones, but LGD are kind of doing everything right to offset that clear advantage the Razor has.
And No-Tail's just going to suicide himself to neutrals because it is much faster. You take into account the fact that you have to kill the full. It does take extra time, and you have to walk back. It's better to just waste all your money, which you did. TP back to the mid lane, save some time, screw your score.
Speaking of that Batrider, he's going to have a Tranquil Boots. Like, he's going to get 2 of these last hits from the wave, Tranquil Boots up, and as you were talking about, this means that the lane is rather easy for Moon. Top lane, though, they do pick up the Beastmaster. The stun leading into the pound. Such a high duration of disable between those two. The Tether of Slark being one of the harder abilities for offlaners to deal with. So,
and this Beastmaster ROTK, he's going to have to primarily focus on using Sidewave, because even with the boar, it's hard for him to contest into this duel lane.
Another deny, obviously, from the Vengeful Spirit. Another just faster. Convinced. So 0-2 right now. Everything's looking pretty good for OG. The mid lane, you know, despite everything that maybe and the Enchanters were trying to do, is still going to be perfectly acceptable for No-Tail. Bottom lane, we've already talked about how it's going to go well for Moon after that first blood start. And top lane, very clearly, is just a lane carefully around.
This kind of evenish lane matchup, by the way, Cap, really favors OG. Just because they have crit, farming the entire time through. I just think Doom is going to be more of a worthwhile 4 position in a game like this. You notice what he's going to go to,
especially since he very specifically counts. Take off untouchable. Bottom lane, Moon's doing some heavy diving now. It's actually going to be out there. I'm not sure what he was thinking there, trying to challenge Styler so much underneath the tower. But the Swarm is really one of the best abilities that Weaver has in the early game, and a lot of problems for that Batrider there.
Yeah, I think that's just unnecessarily dangerous for Moon to do, and usually he's the type of offlaner that, in my opinion, is safe, but
maybe he's finally going to go down. They start with a stun out from the Vengeful Spirit, who picked up an Invis rune, and they will be able to combo it up with crit, getting that early level of Infernal Blade to help provide an additional slow. So they pick up the kill.
Right now, doing so well around the map, they're just kind of assaulting everywhere. This is kind of what I've gotten used to seeing out of crit and Fly as a support duo. They're a really active support. And the reason for this, I think it all revolves around these 2 players, No-Tail and Miracle. They're so self-sufficient that you don't actually have to help them out too much. Miracle. Everybody raves about this guy and his individual ability, but what it usually leads to is him being able to just kind of take lanes for free, play the one-on-one matchups, which he's really strong at. You can do that from the safe lane or the mid lane.
LGD are trying to get so cute with their combinations. They just tried to toss Centaur into the Razor. If they'd actually hit the Centaur stun, they could have followed up with an Avalanche and then Telekinesis. Actually right-click No-Tail down, offsetting that 3-man gank earlier from OG, but unfortunately it doesn't work out this time around. The Razors just fast. 2 levels of unstable current, but they may still be able to get him. Avalanche goes out, toss forward, Centaur stun, again, boots, plus 2 levels of unstable current. Seems to be too much movement speed for the Centaur to actually hit that.
Centaur's pretty annoying, but no kill potential in this lane for them unless No-Tail really messes up. Gonna play the defensive game and keep it Cap. This is 3 heroes that have spent well over a minute trying to deal with this Razor. They haven't been able to get it done. I'd really like to see LGD actually invade this enemy safe lane. But Miracle's level 6, so I guess mid is the default. As No-Tail is a little bit low and he might feel cocky survived the first few attempts, but everybody gonna sandwich here.
Oh no, this is going to be real bad for LGD. They do manage to get a nice two-man Centaur stun. Maybe he's going to try and follow that one up. He doesn't even throw out the combination though. I think he realizes he's not going to be able to kill anyone from OG, and he just hopes MMY was going to be able to get out, but not the case. Still though, Moon had to use Flaming Lasso, so at least it was not the worst thing in the world for LGD. That just as easily could have been 2, maybe even 3 heroes dying there for...
I mean, I think that's pretty bad. They wasted so long trying to do the Centaur execute on that Razor, and then they even smoked for it after it failed the first time, and that smoke led to one person dying.
But just imagine the Doom being caught as well. That hadn't been the two-man Centaur, or the two-man Centaur stun that also hit the Doom, and actually allowed the Enchantress to be able to walk away. She's got no levels of untouchable. She's actually really easily to kill. Oh!
One more time.
Alright, this time around they've got the Mud Golems. There is going to be no movement speed advantage that No Tail could possibly run away from that gank set up by Maybe. But again, LGD are committing so many resources to No Tail that everywhere else on the map, OG is pulling out the big dog.
It's been a really long time since I've seen an individual player hated on so much in this game. Razor is soaking up so much of the time of everybody from... They even rotated Sylar just to make sure that it was an absolute failsafe. They didn't need him, but the fact that he TP'd in, wasted some time there, is going to open up the other lanes. And as we saw earlier today, between me and Toby, I know you were watching the game behind us, this is the guy up here, Miracle. They're just going to focus on him getting as much free farm as possible. And it feels like it's kind of geared, not even towards like a 4 protect 1, but more like we're all going to take the space on this side of the map. You kind of do whatever you want, Miracle, and you're just going to get huge and provide pressure just through being alive.
So it looks like he's going to be going hand-to-minded because he's offered so much free space. And it's one of the carries that does benefit it from it rather more than most.
I think it's a pretty good option. I don't really know what else the builds are.
Yeah, I was about to say, there's nothing else that really Gloves of Haste will go into, right?
Or Maelstrom?
I mean, any of those items on Slark, so...
Remember that one guy, Pat Soul? I used to see him go Maelstrom.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought it was kind of legit, but they're better items.
Just an early attack speed item. I mean, obviously that's one of the biggest benefits of Slark with his passive is attack speed is damage.
Gives you a ton of attack speed and damage, and the chain, or the chance or whatever, procs pretty often. I think it's kind of redundant. You can just get like moon shards. And, you know, you can get a basher, like items out there. Another 3-man smoke. This time they're going to bring Maybe along. I kind of doubt they can kill Miracle here unless he messes up on spell usage. Can't really afford to waste this game. They've wasted so many smokes.
Got a haste rune. This is definitely going to be a big advantage for Maybe. He's going to be able to come in. He's going to miss Miracle, unfortunately, with that avalanche. Obviously, the free kill on Fly. But as you said, unless Miracle messes up somehow, he's not going to be down. And sure enough, reactions are perfectly fine.
During this time as well, Crit has rotated to the bottom lane. He's been here, himself down here for quite some time, and you can already see the benefits of having this Doom. He's well ahead of the offlane Beastmaster in net worth alone. More than him. They haven't even taken a tower yet, so this is pure just net worth. And in mid lane, No Tail's gonna get gone on, but he does have the Invis rune. And they casually walk that off as Fly comes in, but absolutely no chance to kill him, and he's pressuring the tower at the same time.
You gotta be a bit careful here. It looks like, oh, he knew ROTK was completely out of mana, and Enchantress isn't level 6 yet, so there's just no disable and no damage. So Moon is able to come up to the top lane, challenge this kind of, you can't really call it a push, just poke, and we'll be able to finish up his Blink Dagger. So OG very rapidly coming online. That's going to be the first of the heroes. Crit, what do you build as this Doom? Do you also go a Blink Dagger just for the opportunity to take Doom or Weaver out of the fight, or the way that like a different kind of build?
The way that we used to see it when we were playing in the Chinese subs is like full drums to like Vlads and just become really tanky and become a utility hero.
The recent Chinese pubs that feature Doom have been going like blade mails.
Ooh,
drum blade mail, but
that sounds terrible.
I think this is a very different kind of.
There's like very few heroes that I'm a fan of blade mail on. I don't know if you
it's like Legion Commander, X.
Zero that you're like forced to hit. You can just be like, Doom, completely just run the other way. Top lane gank though should be successful, and ROTK, he's got to be wary of this. He's level 6, so the bounty on this is okay, and it's going to lead to the safe lane tower down as well. Miracle's just sure that nobody's around here. This should be 100% successful.
He thought he was so safe with the hog sitting there and everything else, but obviously the smoke and the blink dagger initiation just offers no option of a reprisal there for the Beastmaster. Meanwhile, Sylar is actually trying to push down that bottom lane, but No Tail is now going to be able to rotate over and put a stop to that one.
What do you feel like the game plan now is for LGD? So you've lost your lanes. We can say that pretty comfortably, right?
Oh yeah,
Moon was able to...
every single one of their lanes was won by OG.
For LGD, they anticipated the lanes to go wider. Anytime you pick an Enchantress, this is a hero that enables your other lanes. And you picked a tiny mid, be kind of like the tuck role, but he was not nearly as successful, able to get CS. And really more than that is that you focus 3 different heroes to try to kill him. No Tail is so satisfied with what's happened so far. Oh, one of his deaths is a deny too, so he's only died once to this gank. And he's managed to get a kill out of it too. And all this does is it enables this Slark to get further and further ahead. And if you look at LGD's lineup, I don't think they have the best ways to deal with this hero. Tiny is going to have this short window of time before Slark gets statted up, but then after that, he's just going to dark pact everything.
So what do you do next as LGD? Well, obviously the Blink Dagger is going to be the key pickup for LGD in trying to change the pace of this game. I feel like they almost need to like 4-man around maybe. Is I actually don't think he has enough damage. His combo is not going to be enough to kill Doom. I don't think it's enough to kill Slark, Batrider, Razor, definitely not. Maybe the Vengeful Spirit. It's the only hero you can actually one-shot. So I feel like they actually have to go behind this Tiny and hope that they can get some critical pickoffs.
I think going for a 4-man is a little bit ambitious. Going for a 3-man, show 2 of the lanes is a little bit better. The problem though is that the weak are getting far behind right now. Like Sylar's going to have a Linken's eventually, but I think the timing for it is going to be less than they expect. But maybe he's just going to blink up and miss. He should know that there's somebody up there. Out. But Miracle's already on the other side. He understands in this game, by the way, that JO don't stay in your safe lane.
Yep.
When everybody else is missing off the map. The most dangerous plot that you can be on the map.
To be fair, he also is a good hero to farm jungle. The Slark is a lot more capable than, what was it, Spectre? Or, no, Phantom Monster.
Hey, it's just hard to gank him because it's a nighttime Slark too. Yeah. He's got vision coming in. Even if you smoke, if Miracle plays a reactionary Dota, he should be okay because MMY won't ever really be in time.
I didn't actually expect this one out of OG given some of their heroes. They're going to go straight into the Roshan pit and sneak this one while LGD are spending so much time in the dire jungle. This is like such a clear read by OG of what LGD is trying to do right now. They probably figured the Link Dagger is coming up. They clearly seem to know that this is going to be some sort of rotation in the jungle and are going to be able to counter that. Not only just counter it and stop LGD's their few openings to be able to gain some control in this game, but they're actually going to make it so much harder now for LGD to be able to...
What's really cool about that too is that his lineup, you don't instantly look at that and what that thought is. The initiation goes through.
Yeah, Moon already got the jump on him, maybe being able to control up that combo hero. He turns around, gets off the avalanche, but it looks like the fight is already being won by OG entirely. They've got 2 heroes down. Sylar's forced to pop the ultimate. He just barely doesn't get hit by that pounce, which may allow him to survive. Miracle, 1 pounce up in 1 second, but not going to be there in time. Instead, No Tail will run down some of the easier heroes. MMY, nothing he can do there, and the sneaky napalm is slowing down RTK as well. That's going to be 4 heroes down from LGD, and Sylar has no hope of being able to get a turnaround kill at all.
Yeah.
And Shukuchi, No Tail maybe, but there's so many heroes of OG looking healthy, can't fight.
He almost died there too. Miracle just barely missed that pounce. If he hits that, that's 4-man, that's a 5-man fight. The Enchantress actually died so early in the fight, but she's such a low level, she's instantly up again, and OG, they've taken so much control, but as I was saying, kind of lineup you look at it, and that's on the lineup you instantly think will go for a sneak Roshan, but because of the pack leader aura that the Doom has, they were able to complete it so fast.
Yeah, their natural tankiness, the pack leader aura, and then the Vengeful Spirit as well with the maxed out Wave of Terror. I've actually heard a couple different things on this. There seems to be some people who are actually favoring Vengeance aura a lot more over Wave of Terror. What are your thoughts on the difference? Because Wave of Terror does not scale tremendous. 1 armor point and 20 points of damage per level.
I think the Wave of Terror, it's just you can go for the Roshan a lot earlier. You have physical damage dealers with the Razor and the Slark already. It's not as necessary for them to have the Vengeance Aura because you're almost never going to be near them anyways. Like, they're going to play so much faster than you. You just get the Wave of Terror off on a few heroes. It lasts for 15 seconds. Things down, but LGD kind of in dire straits right now because the Weaver getting a Linken's alone cap isn't enough for them to win the game. That's the sad part. Usually when your carry gets a first item, that's kind of the go time, but point of the Weaver getting that item. If he's not going to be able to tank, he's going to be playing largely on the defensive.
It will be way more effective against the Doom than it ever was before, as we've talked about in some of our broadcasts. This is part of the reason that Doom isn't picked. The change to Infernal Blade means that you no longer have a spell to actually remove Linken's in order for you to go for a 1-2 punch, remove Linken's with what was level death, and then throw down your ultimate. No longer the case, but I'm sure that OG is not going to be worried about that. That's just a minor stopper in their plan. They have so many other heroes.
Radiant's bottom tower is
They're just going to kill everybody else.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know that that's a single core Weaver at top side. Before he gets his Linken's, he's going to get jumped off by 3. Doom goes down 2. He's going to get that one as Doom gets last hit, but that is such a farmed Bad Rider. It's a blink, 4 staff. He can afford a gem anytime soon too. And once you have that, all the map control goes away. LGD, they're running a single core, make no mistake about it. Like, the Tiny is an enabler. He's not really a true 1 or 2 position because of that Blink Dagger. He's even going to go for the 4 staff next. Like, this guy has to accomplish something.
Yeah, this kind of Tiny has to actually do so well in that 15 to 25 minute marker to turn into another kind of carry. LGD are going to try and get into an early fight here up against Miracle. They're going to be able to almost pop him, but almost is not good enough. Miracle pops the ultimate, starts healing himself up. The rest of OG surge forward. They're going to look for the kill on maybe first. No-Tail actually takes out the Rubik, turns toward DDC. That's going to be a harder hero to kill. Maybe meanwhile targeted by Moon and Fly is going to be going down. No-Tail not quite able to pick up the kill. Miracle looks towards DDC. They don't have a stun, as both stun from Vegetable Spirit wasn't in range and the swap was already being... So, still though, 2 hero kills. Considering that was another LGD smoke initiation, it just seems like LGD have no hold on this game whatsoever, and that's not really going to change unless OG makes some serious mistakes.
If I'm correct too, they've used all their smokes, and it looks like it, and that's kind of your avenue of getting back into the game, especially with this Tiny. When you don't have any map control, I'd really like to see OG just pick up the early control, pick up a gem, deward like crazy, get some vision. It seems that Moon just kind of favors this aphid lens though, before he gets it. Maybe he doesn't even feel like it's altogether that necessary because they're so far ahead in the game right now. Yeah. Just continue to scale up and up.
The gem would be so powerful because that's really if you can get both the gem and aggressive vision up, the only way that LG really surprises you at that point in time is with smokes, right? Got done talking about there are none.
I think it's okay anyways though, because you have a Slark, he's going to find out where things are with his Shadow Dance, and sentries enough are alone. Like, I just expect them to just have a ton of sentries. Vengeful Spirit has 2 already. Miracle can just tell his team, okay, I've been spotted here. They're a pretty common ward spots for Radiant, especially when you're behind. Like this one over here, probably the most common, right?
Yeah. Now, this is really like vacation time for OG. They already did all the hard work, right, in the first 20 minutes of this game. They can't actually, they don't have the kind of lineup that is like full speed and, 20 minutes, let's do Roshan, let's, take tier 2 towers, tier 3s, let's go high ground. This isn't that kind of lineup. OG are going to be spending probably the next 5 to 10 minutes a little bit more farm, get the Scotty on Slark. I mean, at the very least on him. Maybe some of the rest of OG can play more aggressive, but this is definitely not, I think, a lineup that can go high ground anytime soon, despite the huge lead they have.
The great thing about OG too is that they still have the smoke remaining, so they can still make one more aggressive move into LGD's jungle, get even more control, and can play even more defensively. His crit does go for that build, by the way. He drops some Vlads, purely tank up, become an enabler for the rest of your team. His right-click damage is not bad though, 170. He's got the pack leader.
Where would you go as a kind of mid-game? Dagger eventually, or what about Ags? Is that no longer a thing? Yeah, I feel like I've heard that Ags just isn't the item anymore on Doom.
I don't think it has been for quite a while. Yeah. It used to be that if I saw in a pub a Doom go Ags first item, I was like, I won, like 100%. That guy's not getting a Shadow Blade or a Blink. Do that, the game pretty much over. I don't know if you could really go for a Shadow Blade, but Even going for a blink is fine.
Yeah, blink into Shivas or something like that.
Yeah, you don't even necessarily have to Doom the Weaver because of the way that LGD's lineup works. They have one core. Like, what are they going to do? Doom may be in the game over anyways.
Yeah.
He's your primary damage dealer. The Weaver isn't so scary. Simon, notice because LGD don't have smoke, they're holed up in their base. They're just watching each other farm, and this is the easiest way to get far behind. And that's why OG is slowing down the pace of the game right now, because they realize everybody from LGD is 5-manning. So let's just hit and run them, make them scared, but don't do anything.
So you're kind of in panic mode. It's LGD at this point. What do you do? Because there are, we've actually gone over so many of the avenues of ways forward, essentially, for LGD that are not available. You don't have any good map control, you don't have any smokes, you don't really have the kind of heroes to make plays right now. What do you actually do? You continue to try and 5-man, do you spread yourself really, really far and just like try and farm really efficiently and hope you're able to catch up through that? What's the play?
Someone checks online how to start a small fire.
Okay.
And just like throw that into OG Verm, because right now,
okay.
they have, what are they supposed to do? They have one core. You got this Weaver guy who has a Lincolns and deals no damage to anybody. They're just gonna laugh at him as everybody from OG so tanky. Fort, I put it in air quotes, Venge is Urn and a wand. I don't even know what crit's supposed to be.
Yeah, I was gonna say the real quote-unquote support, you know, the big question mark there is, what the hell is Doom then? He's the fourth carry of OG at this point.
He's actually so far right now. He's only 400 gold behind the Tiny.
He's just casually rocking around with a plate mail now. He's impossible.
The way that you're supposed to get back into these games when you're super far behind is you get these high net worth kills, individual heroes. But if everybody from OG is so damn hard to kill, and Slark is just 3 to the 1,000 health. LGD do 2,000 damage before Venge blocks? This is the question.
Or even can they disable the Slark and do 2,000 damage before you play Shadow Dance? Maybe.
He would have to mess up so much.
No Tail's gonna catch up to him. Baby is definitely dead.
God, everybody is so tanky hard to kill.
Yeah.
Everybody is single target too, so this Razor becomes even better.
So you need to go for these high priority kills, but you don't have the vision to actually know whether or not these heroes, if you see them on the map, are alone or not. You don't have the map control to really make these kind of guesses because nobody's showing up in top lane right now from OG, but you can clearly see that that doesn't mean much. The heroes kind of all spread over. They've got top, mid, bottom lane.
This assault from OG. This is so cool to watch.
Yeah, I love it.
Everywhere.
Yeah, they're actually letting Styler take this tier 2, but they're keeping the wave there. They're locking it in, so Styler won't actually have a creep wave to go high ground.
This is how far ahead OG is, that they can show 3 heroes like this, and 2 of their main cores in the mid lane, and 2 off cores in the bottom lane, and they can't respond to either of them. How many situations have you seen? In Dota, whenever you're behind and you have a numbers advantage, you immediately take that fight because you're never going to get better. Yep. LGD thinks that even that is such a low percentage that they won't take it.
So now they're just letting OG essentially draw out the game because they're choosing not to try and fight. Is there something that's, like, what is the next moment that changes for LGD? Is there an item pickup? Is there a certain level that will make LGD feel more comfortable with taking a fight?
I know it's our job to be super positive and okay, this
No. I would say we definitely need to lay it out in, but we still have to find some hope, some glimmer of light. We will call it a glimmer. Right? That's what it is. It is like tiniest, faintest bit of light. Maybe you're just seeing things.
I feel like I'm just not a good enough player to understand how LGD is supposed to go. It's got a level 8 Enchantress, a level 7 Rubik, 24 minutes into the game, and you're level 7 and level 8 respectively, against a Slark that has 1,100 gold, a Blink Dagger, and a Scotty.
So you're saying right now that us as casters downstairs, 1 level during this pause, bring all of the greatest minds of Dota 2 that are currently down there scrimming, practicing, doing whatever, assemble, you know, the best captains and you know, good and analytical type players, bring them all into this room with us and have them theory craft a way out of this for LGD.
Because LGD, I think there was a time period like 10, 15 minutes ago where maybe they could have taken more chances and just used the Beastmaster Huck better. I will say that. I think They didn't really use the Beastmaster Hawk to set up for the Tiny. They were over-reliant on the early game smokes that just weren't working out. How many times did they try to smoke mid on no-tail?
Yeah.
You can't waste it like that. Those have to be guaranteed. People don't understand. Those aren't casual ones, because how badly do you think LGD wish they had at least one of those smokes right now? Now they have to fight into this Roche fight where they're going to get spotted 100%.
Yeah.
And they're just like, well, if we give you Roche, the game's over. If we take Roche fight, we have no vision, and we're going to come at you slowly with our two supports that don't do anything.
And OG have like a 95% chance to be able to win this Roshan fight. But even then, they could just back out, farm up a little bit more, and give themselves even more, like, you know, take away another 4% from that margin of error and make it a 99% chance to win.
I think the best way to look at it from a viewing perspective, if you think a caster is being biased or lying to you or something like that, or trying to just keep the game hype up, look at the late game possibilities. Like, does Weaver out carry those 3 cores? Let's say 4 cores. Like Crit's not a support. I don't even know what Crit's become.
It is else. Alright, so LGD to go for a smoke play here. They've got the blink on the side. If they can jump it at the right time, Oki's actually just going to force that the hell out of there. Siler's going to try and go get it, but Miracle's actually managed to take it off. Siler pops his ultimate, gets the hell out of there. MMY is already down, and it looks like maybe it's going to go for a fly, but Siler has been doomed up, and he should be run down. R2K is actually body blocking up pretty decently, but Siler's still going to be caught up by Miracle. Maybe is trying to TP out, but of course all of his allies on the left-hand side of the jungle are all dying. ROTK is going to be not the last one down. DDC will still be caught by these being called. Miracle will eventually get his claws into that poor Swedish tail. Oh, Moon!
Like, even Moon knows how.
Oh, Moon!
You know what that is? That's the get out of my game.
Yep.
That's actually the game.
Why have you not GG yet?
It's like, what are you guys doing? That's the.
Stop wasting my time.
I don't even think that's DM, honestly.
I mean, if that breaks LGD's spirit,
yeah,
you know,
more
good
power
on
to you. If you can do that and it doesn't even matter, then LGD are just that far behind. Moon. That was so funny.
We hyped it up at the Frankfurt Major, so
it's a legitimate part of the game.
Shanghai.
The risk reward is so off. Like, you slightly mess with somebody's mentality, but you might lose 2,000 gold in an instant.
Do you think Swindle ever sees these plays just like shaking his head like, no guys, it's not worth it?
You know what I like about Swindle is he is willing to take it just as much as he's willing to give it. Like, he's down to just...
If that was another player, I wouldn't have brought that up.
Oh, Miracle, he's just gonna blow up MMY. Oh god, he attacks so fast.
RTK, he like starts here with a Primal Roar, but Miracle, top the ultimate, he's just gonna be able to take him out anyway. The Primal Roar goes out, but of course, got this great ability card, Dark Pack. They're gonna lose life number 1 here on the Slark, but gonna come right back. Anytime around, he's gonna have allies helping him out. Miracle drops down to about half HP, almost dies, but will be able to get the pounce away. Puts himself in the trees and will start healing up. Meanwhile, Siler's actually being run down by No-Tail. Knows he can't kill a Weaver as Shukuchi's coming back up. So instead, during that BKB time, he very wisely takes the 400 gold from the Necronomicon minion instead.
I thought for a second he was dead because the Necro minions actually wreck you. You never start to realize how much mana they're draining until it's too late. And he had used his pounce already on the Tiny. So he's gonna die there for a second, but barely gets out. And OG are just gonna take this top tier 2 tower. They're so confident at this point. They know they have everything necessary. They've got better late game. Miracle stacked the gills. No-Tail's in a similar position.
Maybe aren't giving up just yet. They're actually trying to get some back on No-Tail. Bring him decently low, but Fly hits swap Miracle, puts himself pretty far forward until he draws the aggro and then bounces. Fly gets the force staff over the cliff, but is still going to be caught. LGD finally get themselves a kill. Not a high profile, high net worth hero kill, but a kill nonetheless.
Right now, you take whatever you can get. Even a kill, that actually gives them more gold. Even though they lost like the enchantment buyback. Overall, that game goes in their favor just because OG is so far ahead right now. But no disrespect to LGD, you know, I wasn't making fun of them or anything. It's more just OG have just played this game so well. Like, everybody created space on the map for each other. There's a time period where you saw 2 people top, 2 people mid, 2 people or 1 person bottom, farming out everywhere and hemming in. And because they were spread out in this way, LGD had no idea what they were supposed to do. We start to go to one area, does OG just back up and consolidate their forces into another. Like, just dominant.
You talked about early on that you felt like LGD did mess up certain things, execution, but what percentage would you really lay this game on? Would you say that it was more of the draft or more of the execution? I personally am lying more in the draft pool. It felt that the Tiny had to have a good time in order to really start things out good for LGD, and he was matched up against a Razor 1v1 mid.
His blink dagger timing, if you remember correctly, wasn't even that bad.
No, they played, I mean, they did, like, all these cutesy things. Like, every single cutesy thing in the book of Dota, they did in that mid lane in order to help maybe succeed. And it still wasn't enough to win the lane. Maybe it's going to be initiated on by Moon, gets the grab. They've already taken out MMY. The gem is dropped, and, well, G, and even more bounty.
If they hadn't focused so much on no-tail, and had just kind of spread out a little bit, safe lane. I don't know why MMY just decided to give up on the bottom lane and was like, I'm gonna let that Rider do whatever he wants. He killed me once, he won the duel, and decided he was gonna focus all of his energy mid, but that's on No-Tail too. Like, No-Tail positions himself beautifully, he never let himself get tilted. He didn't really even have that much help mid. He just played safe and always ran to the right of his tower. That's important. He didn't play on the left side where smoke around him. He always played on the right side and down, and they just got nothing out of it. What were they going to do though? They can't. Miracle got 6 so quickly because they were able to kill the Beastmaster, so he wasn't an option. And at that point, Crit was open. So the only options that you have are either No-Tail or this Fat Rider. But is it worth it to smoke 3 heroes and your mid hero down for a Fat Rider? No.
Yeah. And to build on that, there is no saving grace for No-Tail, right? Like, it's so critical that he does play the positioning game correctly, because no one's going to kind of come save him from OG with a jungling Doom. And Fly, who's obviously stuck up at the top lane again with the Beastmaster. Moon finds his initiation once again onto maybe. Combination with a Centaur stun, follow-up stun from Fly as well. They're chain stunning him pretty well, but they're actually leaving him for dead because they want to be able to chase down Sylar first. Good Shiva's entry as Crit comes into the pool. Maybe he got doomed up, but doesn't really stop him. Crit's perfectly healthy, and maybe can't finish anybody off, so the buyback is worthless, and LGD will call it. The end score being 6-28. 31 and a half minutes in.
That's almost a kill for OG. They were completely on point here. I think it was the combination of the draft. They had nobody to kill like I outlined, but at the same time, they definitely could have used their time a lot better.